Thanks for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner. Grab your craft supplies and come and join me. Today we are going to be making this adorable little snowman family out of your hand. Isn't he adorable? Come on down to the library and grab a packet and you'll be able to have everything that you need to make this. In your packet you're going to find different construction paper strips as well as a half a sheet of cardstock for your hand. For this craft, you're going to need a pencil, some scissors, a Sharpie, and a glue stick will work just fine today. All right, so let's get started on making our little snowman family. First thing you're going to take is your cardstock and your hand. Now, remember that we're going to be decorating your hand, so don't put it all close together when you trace it. Today we want our hand open as big as you can on the cardstock. I would use a pencil to go ahead and trace around your hand. You can use a marker if you want, but then you're going to have to cut it so that that marker doesn't show, and that might be a little bit tougher. So a pencil is a good idea. All right, so once you have your hand, you are going to want to go ahead and cut it out. Now, we do want, let me show you this. We do want our hand to be able to be curved just a little bit. And so for my thumb, instead of tracing where my hand came in and cutting that part out, I'm sort of just going to go straight up, okay? And then I can reform this in a little bit. So I'm going to have a very sort of deformed hand here for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and cut on my lines as close as I can, all the way around all my fingers, making sure that we have our space between our fingers. As when we build our little scarves for our little snowman family, you need to have a little space between fingers. And don't worry if you don't cut it out just perfectly, because we can actually turn it over and have our hand facing the other direction. And we won't have to worry about the lines. Okay, and again, I'm sort of just going to go straight down. So now I'm going to turn him over, throw our trash away, just like that. And we want sort of the curve now, this to give it sort of a, give this a rounded edge. I'm sorry there, boys and girls. My little watch decided to talk to me today. All right, so we're going to curve this like this. Whee! So it has sort of a snowman, like the ball of a snowman feel. All right, now that we have that done, we can make some hats. So we're going to have some black strips of paper, and we need itty bitty little snowman hats for all of our snow people. So what I like to do, and I know you know this about me, is I'm going to layer my paper. I cut my strip of paper into 5, and I'm going to layer them on top of each other. And I'm going to, if you need to, take a pencil, and you're going to go up. You're going to draw a line, go up about a ½ inch, and then come over about a ¼ inch, and then bring your hat up. If you need to draw it on the paper first so that you get a good idea about what it's going to look like, you do want your hat to be the brim part of it as long as your fingertips. So I'm just going to cut up, over just a little, and cut back up for the top of my hat, cut over, and cut down, and then I'm going to have all 5 hats that look alike. If you don't want your family all to have hats that look alike, you can change them. Now, I noticed that it's a little too wide, so I'm going to trim the bottom a little bit. And it's a little too tall, so I'm going to trim that one. Always make your hats, always make things, if possible, a little bigger than you need. Okay, so now we have, look at my little snow people are all going to have hats. All right, so then I'm going to take my glue stick and put just a tiny bit of glue on the fingertips of each of my hands, my fingers. Whoops, press it down. It's sliding. My goodness. All right. All right, we're almost done with the hat part. Now, as I'm doing the rest of our snowman family today, I wanted to do a little shout out to my friends, Dominic and Katie. I know that they are big fans of the show, and they love to watch and make the crafts. And so I wanted to just say hi, guys, and I hope you are enjoying this craft, and I hope I'm going slow enough for you today, because I know sometimes I like to go a little fast. All right, let's go back to our hands. Once we have the hats done, go ahead and get a black marker and do the eyeballs right underneath the hats. There's our eyeballs. And before we do the smiley face, it's probably best that we go ahead and do the little carrot nose. Now, carrot noses can be tough, let me tell you. And again, I'm going to go ahead and layer my paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in my family. You guys know that song? That came from Sesame Street years ago. Okay. I am going to draw my little carrot nose. For a carrot, you want it to be, so I just drew sort of like a little smiley face, which is like a half circle. And then I'm going to bring it out and make it at a point and have it come back down. Draw your things that you're trying to cut out maybe a little bigger than you want them to, because when you cut them out, especially if you cut away from the line, you'll be better off, and it won't be as too big. Okay, so now I've got the point part, and then I'm just going to cut the little section here where I made the curve, and it's sort of hard to do with 5 paper on top of each other. So you might not want to do all 5, but now let me try to see how big it is. So it's a little too big for the babies in my family. So I'm going to take my scissors and just trim the little nose a little bit. I might leave the bigger nose for the mommies and the daddies, the bigger fingers I have. That's much better. See that size? So once you have it, go back in and just trim it just a little bit. And if it doesn't look just perfect, that's okay. I mean, have you seen the carrots at the store? They're never just perfect, are they? They don't look like we do it like in art class. And you can have your snowflake, or I'm not snowflake, you can have your little carrot noses going whatever direction you want. So I'm gonna make this guy's nose go this way. And this guy's nose going over this way. Oh, covered up his eye. Can't do that. All right, I got to decide about these 2 noses. I know they're sort of big, but let's go ahead and maybe the mommy and daddy up here can have almost noses that touch each other. That might be a little cool. This one I think is still too big, so I'm going to trim it down. There goes my glue stick. Boys and girls, have you ever had to catch your glue stick as it rolls off the table? I have had to do that many a time. All right, here we go. All right, now that we have all of our noses on, then you can take your marker and go dot, 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 dot. Give them all little smiles. You couldn't do this before because you weren't sure where the noses were going to be. All right, so then we're going to make them all a little happy. Now we're going, before we put the little buttons down their bellies, we need to make scarves. And I've given each packet a variety of colors, and we're just going to cut a tiny little strip to put across. So I've given you plenty of paper, way more than you're going to need. So I think I'm just going to have to do this maybe even one at a time, and I'm just going to cut this teeny tiny little strip and decide who gets the yellow. And I'm cutting sort of the strips that they were given in my packet in half. Maybe you can have that one. And I guess, you know, you guys could take a marker and put stripes or something on these. That one's a little bit too big. That would be cool. You could stripe your scarves. You could maybe even put, I just had another idea, a tiny little piece of cotton or something on the end, because, you know, sometimes people have scarves that have little fluff balls on the end of them. There's that one. And then this one over here. Now, you could also, and this is going to be really tough to see, but I'm going to take my scissors and just go clip, 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 a couple little tiny nicks on the end, and then it sort of looks like the scarf has the little fringes on the end of it. So that's sort of another cool idea that you can do. You go clip, clip, clip. And then we just have to put a little glue under each snowman's face and glue their scarf down so that they stay toasty warm when it's so cold outside. All right. This one I did not clip, so let me go ahead and give it a little clip, 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 clip before I glue it down. And you can see the scarves, the clipping part goes off to one side or the other. It doesn't matter. And we're almost done. Clip, clip. Just do these little snips right there. Put a little glue. All right. Then snowmen have their little buttons that come down. And I don't know why it's always 3, but 3 always looks good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And our snowman family hand is ready to go out. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? All right, boys and girls, here we go. It's our little rockin' snowman family hand. Thank you so much for joining me, Miss Lisa, here at the Crafty Corner. Join me again next week, and I will have another awesome snow craft, I believe it is, for you. All right, join me soon. Bye.